Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over one of my first automated YouTube channels ever that made $10,140 in its first 2 weeks. So as you can see, I started this channel on December 1st of 2022 and it wasn't getting that many views at first. As you can see, around 1,000 views, maybe less per day, and then boom, one day it went 63,000, 114, and it started blowing up and had an even bigger blow up towards the end of the month. Now if I switch over to the revenue, you can see that the revenue actually starts on December 14th because I got monetized 13 days after I started my channel. So all of these views up until here, these were not counted, as monetized views. So with this video, I want to show exactly how I was able to achieve this in the first place, and I also want to show you how this channel looks after, I guess, the first month. Because as you can see here, I end this at December 31st of 2022. So if I go over here, the first thing I want to talk about is how you can find a niche. Right here, I write, do not create a niche, and I'm even going to bold this because I want you guys to really understand, do not create a niche. What I mean by this is you shouldn't try and find your own niche, make something that doesn't exist. It's always good to make sure that there are other channels that are successful before you jump into creating your own channel. And that's exactly what I did with this channel, right? I found other channels that were successful first before I hopped into this niche. I didn't just find this random niche and decide, you know what, I want to start making videos in it, or I didn't create this niche, right? I was not the first person to upload in this category of content. So to be able to find a niche, you need to find recently successful channels. That means that you know that this niche is still coming up. So if you're able to find channels that were created in the last 6 months or so that are doing well, then you know, okay, if I create a channel, then mine should do well as well. Now, finding other successful channels is great and all, but you also need to make sure that they are easy to replicate, because if you find channels that create videos in Mr. Beast niche where they're spending so much money on their videos, the production quality is insane, it's probably not realistic to create a channel in that niche. So for this niche specifically, it's about Minecraft. I'm playing a specific Minecraft minigame that became very popular around this time. And before I created the channel, I found 3 or 4 other channels that had success within the prior 3 months. So I can actually switch over to the videos tab and show you guys some of the videos that did really well. So over here, we had a video get 600,000 views. Let's go to the analytics. Now the first thing that you're going to notice obviously is that this video made $1,266. And also this one video alone made me gain 4,700 subscribers, and even to this day I'm still gaining subs from this video. Now if we go over to the reach tab, we can see that this video has 3.5 million impressions, which means 3.5 million different people saw this. But 13% of those people clicked on the video. Now a 13.3% CTR is very, very good. As you can see, it's spiking up and down, but it averages out to 13.3. If we go to the engagement tab over here, you can see that the engagement, it was a 35.4% AVD. I'd say the AVD, it's not super great, it's pretty average, but the CTR is so high that it doesn't really matter in this case, because this AVD actually isn't bad. It's nothing insanely good, right? If we want super good, we want over 40%, but 35%, it's pretty close to 40. A good CTR is typically 8 or 9%, so 13.3% is extremely high. Now let's scroll down and try and find another video that didn't do as well. So this video right here is sandwiched between a video that got 130,000 views and 120,000 views. This video got 8,000, right? So let's look at the analytics here. Now this video has a 4.7% CTR, and the engagement is 36%. So even though the engagement rate is around the same, this CTR is significantly less. I mean, a 1% CTR difference between 2 videos is already a large gap. So imagine over 8%. I mean, this is a horrible, horrible CTR. That's because this thumbnail was honestly just not that great. I know you guys can't see it because it's blurred, but the thumbnail was just not that great. So that's why I want to go into the team. A thumbnail artist is absolutely needed. I mean, I first started this channel and my thumbnails were absolutely atrocious. So once I switched to having a thumbnail artist, that's when I started to see that those 13% CTRs. So 4% is horrible. Truthfully, I did make the thumbnail that had a 4% CTR. So I would say you definitely need a thumbnail artist. Now, it's pretty easy to find a thumbnail artist. You can just go on Google, search up editor for hire Discord, and search it up. Now, you're going to be able to scroll down, see Discord servers tagged with video editing, and you can see a ton of different Discord servers here, right? A lot of these don't have members, but for example, this one has 1,000 members online, this one has 1,000, this one has 4,000, and all these servers, although they're mainly about video editing, you can always find thumbnail artists or really any job in these servers. So yeah, it's pretty easy to find a thumbnail artist, an editor, whatever you need. Now, I actually say right here that editing is optional, but can help. And what I mean by this is at first you can edit your own videos because editing is typically way more expensive than thumbnails. So at first you can edit your own videos if you don't have the budget, but it's always gonna help increase your AVD if you have an editor that knows what they're doing. Eventually with an automated channel, you can even get a manager. For example, I've had channels in the past where I had a manager who was taking the finished video from the editor. He was uploading the videos, placing the ads. He was also doing the end screens, just everything on the manager side, and then I was doing absolutely nothing. And more here could include voice actors, things like that. So that's kind of why I want to show you guys the difference there. Now, this channel in total made $42,500 in the time that it was, being ran. So around March is when I stopped uploading because the views just started dying. As you can see, it started probably dying here, and then once it was doing less than 100 a day, I just stopped running the channel because I could care less, because I had other channels that I was running essentially. This one just was not doing it for me, so I kind of just gave up on uploading, and it was mainly because the cost of editing, everything like that, it just wasn't worth it for me. On some of the days I was only making $50 a day, and if it continued to go on that decline, then eventually I would be in the negative right after the editing cost. So that's why I stopped, because this channel was actually fully automated. I was doing nothing. I had a manager, so there would be no reason for me to stop if it was even making $5 a day profit. But it's just because I saw that if it kept going down the line of decline and decline, then eventually I would be in the negative. So that's why I stopped running this channel. Now, in this time span, it was monetized from December 13th, and then I kind of stopped running it in March. So that's only, 3 months. And in those 3 months, I was able to make $42,000. Now, one thing that helped me blow up was definitely the schedule. With YouTube, you want to be super consistent. YouTube doesn't recommend just any channel. If they see consistency, they will reward it. Now, yes, I know some channels are not consistent at all and they do well, but those are not the typical channels, right? They might have very great quality content. If you do not have great quality content, or it's a niche that's very easy to replicate, you're going to be on top of your competitors by being consistent. What that means is choose your schedule, right? So just copy your competitors. In this case, I was uploading daily on this channel because my competitors were, and I was copying the video time length. It was on average around 15 minutes. Now, I was being consistent on that daily schedule. Now, you might be doing once a week, twice a week, maybe on a Monday and a Friday, but just keep it. Once you choose your schedule, once you create your channel, keep that schedule, never stop. The second you lose consistency, the second YouTube will stop pushing you into the algorithm. Now, some other things I just want to go over is the RPM. So RPM is how much money you're making per 1,000 views. So for the first month of the year, aka January, you're gonna have the worst RPM ever, because in January there's no holidays. It's just after Q4, which has Christmas, New Year's, and everything. So if I go over to January, this channel made $15,000 in January, and if I scroll down, you can see the revenue per 1,000 views here is $2.36, which is honestly pretty bad. Now, if I go over to March, which is only 2 months later, you can see that the RPM here is $2.87. Now, although I know that's not a lot higher, but March is still in Q1. So in Q4 in this niche, you can see RPMs of $6 or $7. So know that it depends on the quarter of the year. So Q1 has the worst RPM, then it gets better in Q2, even better in Q3, and Q4 is super good. Now, the length of your video also affects the RPM. This is pretty self-explanatory. The longer the video is, the more ads the viewer watches, aka the RPM is going to be higher. And last but not least, your niche also affects your RPM. This is because if you're in the finance niche, you're going to have an older audience. If they're from the US, your RPM goes up. So the older your audience is, the higher your RPM will be, and the higher the percentage of viewers that are from, Western countries like United Kingdom, the United States, the higher your RPM will be as well. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you want to join my private Discord server where I'm releasing some exclusive videos for my $1,000 course, I'm going to link it in the description and the top of the pinned comment. It's totally free to join, and I'm giving you guys those free exclusive videos from my private course just as a thank you for joining up and taking the time to listen to me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.